These are the 10 Plus T-Series carbon wheels. Before 10 Plus got in touch with me, I actually never heard of the brand before. This wheel set will cost you around 340 euros. That's actually low enough to make these carbon wheels very tempting. But it is costly enough for you to want to know what you get as a value when buying this. 10 Plus did send this over for me to try, but they did not pay me, nor do they have any influence in what I'm gonna say in this video. Alright, now let's open the box and we'll see what 340 euros will get you. Let's rock and roll, shatter the 10. They're definitely trying to make the unboxing experience a bit more fun over here, so I give them A for trying. Both wheels are wrapped separately, and each wheels are wrapped with this foamy thingy and inside with another layer of plastic wrapping. First thing first, let's hear how the free hub sounds like. Not as loud as I expected actually. Out of the box, of course, you get the wheels, but what good is you also get the tubeless valve, and they also put on the ring tip already for you. So my first reaction when I actually saw the wheels is that I actually like the design. The branding is very subtle and it doesn't take over the entire rim, which is actually more to my taste. The carbon surface, they are matte instead of glossy. And the decals are also consistently well applied across the rims. And the hub design is also pretty standard. There is a 10 Plus branding in the middle of the free hub, but other than that, I don't see any rough edges around the free hub, so everything looks okay over here. So you can buy these from the official 10 Plus store on AliExpress. And like I mentioned at the time of recording, the price of these wheels is around 340 euros. But as you know, AliExpress do have from time to time sales, so keep an eye on that. You could probably get this at a cheaper price. There's also the E-series, which is around 430 euros, which makes it around 90 euros more expensive than the T-series. But more about the E-series later. So at this price point, 10 Plus is directly competing with entry-level carbon wheels. Some example of those competitors would be Elite wheels, Super Team or CSC wheels. The wheels took around 1 month to arrive, and when the package arrived, I didn't have to pay any extra fees or customs duties. So if you're buying this on AliExpress, do select the DPD option for delivery, because with that, you don't have to pay any custom duties when it arrives. Okay, now let's talk a bit about the warranty. The rim itself comes with 1200 days of warranty, while the hubs, the spokes and the nipples is covered for 1 year against manufacturing defects. So the one I have over here is the T-series. But what does that mean? The T-series comes with steel bearings, and it has a 36 teeth star ratchet hub. So you're probably thinking, 36 teeth star ratchet, so what? The star ratchet hub is one of the main things that separate these wheel sets from other wheels at this price point. Instead of using small holes inside the hub, this system, it uses 2 tooth rings that engage when you pedal, and that gives it a broad engagement surface, and the mechanism itself is relatively simple to access and service. With 36 teeth, the hub engages every 10 degrees. Now, the E-series, they move up to 45 tooth ratchet, which reduces the engagement angle to 8 degrees. But you don't have to remember all of this nerd stuff. What it basically means is that there can be a small amount of pedal movement until the hub engages and moves. For road riding, and especially for professional amateurs like us, that's going to be quick enough. You're probably going to notice it the most when you get back on the pedals after a slow corner or during a climb. And with the E series, instead of getting steel bearings, you're gonna get the ceramic bearings. And the weight of the wheels is also slightly lesser than this one. So using the 50 millimeters as an example, the T series is around 1630 grams, whereas the E series on paper is around 1415 grams. So paying that extra money gonna get you a ceramic bearings, slightly quicker engagement, and a weight saving of around 200 grams. If you care about weight saving, then probably it makes sense for you to spend that extra money and get the E series. Since we are already talking about the weight, let's actually check out how much these wheels in reality weighs. Let's first check the front wheel. 792.4 grams. Let's now do the rear wheels. 886.5 grams. And the weight of them together is 1678.9 grams. 678.9. Lines up nicely, no? Keep in mind that the weight was also together with the rim tape and the tubeless valve included. So in reality, I think it's more or less matched to what is claimed on paper. Now, this wheel set has 50 millimeter rim depth. There are 20 millimeters wide internally and 28 millimeters externally. The internal width pairs well with most of the wider road tires people are using nowadays, especially around 28 to 32 millimeters tires. The recommended tires from 10 Plus is anything from 21 millimeters up to 43 millimeters tires. The rims are hook and tubeless ready, so you can use the tubeless setup, or you could also use clincher tires with inner tubes. Both wheels use 24 pillar 1423 bladed spokes, which means that you can expect some aerodynamic gains with the bladed spokes, so you're gonna get to your cafe a bit faster than usual. And similar to a lot of modern wheels nowadays, they use the center lock for the rotors. This one is compatible with the Shimano Hyperglide, but you also have the option to get either SRAM XDR or Shimano Microspline. And last but not least, the rider weight limit for this one is 130 kilograms. So we're gonna set up the wheels on my Higa road bike. We're gonna use the same tires, Continental GP 5000. We're also gonna use the same cassette, 140 millimeters rotors at the back and 160 millimeter rotors at the front. Alright, so now everything is set up. I put the tires on the wheels and mounted as well the wheels onto the frame. There were some slight rubbing between the rotors and the brake pads, so I had to realign the calipers, but other than that, installing the rotors, the cassette was pretty smooth. The wheels in combination with the tires, especially the 10 wall, it does look pretty nice on the frame. So bro, good? How are you? For the first ride, I did about 40 kilometers, mostly flat with a few elevation. The wind was pretty calm with the occasional crosswind and headwind. My first impression was that they felt good, but not dramatically different from what I'm used to. My usual wheels are the Moving Sports SL 1200, which are a higher spec wheel set, so it's not really an apple-to-apples comparison. But the 10 Plus wheels definitely didn't feel like a big step down. When I put a bit more power down, they accelerated well. Nothing felt sluggish, but there's also wasn't a dramatic difference that immediately stood out. Out of the saddle, they felt stiff enough. I didn't notice any flags, and there was no brake rub from the wheel flags when I pushed a bit harder. On rougher roads, they were also comfortable enough. Nothing felt unusually harsh, and at higher speeds, they felt stable and easy to hold the line. They also seem to carry speed quite well, although that's hard to judge properly from one ride. I did get the occasional stronger side gust, and I could feel that the front wheel moved a little, but it was easy enough to control. And with around only 60 kilos, I tend to notice crosswind more than a heavier rider. As for the free hub, it's somewhere in the middle in terms of volume. You can definitely hear it when you are coasting, but in traffic or in loud environment, it can easily disappear to the background. But the wheels themselves were quiet, meaning no clicking, creaking, anything unusual from the hubs or the spokes. And after the ride, everything still felt tight and normal. I didn't notice any play developing in either wheel. And after a while, I basically stopped thinking about the wheels and just rode. For me, I think that's a good sign because nothing was distracting me or making me question the wheels. So after the first ride, I think they did everything I expected them to do, but this was still just one mostly flat ride, so I need more time on them before I can actually say much beyond that. So I just got back from riding the first time with these wheels. Now let's talk who are the target audience for this wheel set. I personally think that this is great for someone who wants to try carbon wheels but they do not want to spend 800 to 1000 bucks buying carbon wheels from a Western brand. You know, at around 340 euros, you're getting hook and tubeless ready carbon wheels, pillar spokes, center lock hubs, and a star ratchet free hub. You're not getting an especially light carbon wheel set, but that is where the E-Series comes in. If you do a lot of climbing and your primary goal to buy a carbon wheel set is to reduce the weight of your bike, then definitely E-Series makes more sense to you. But if you want to keep the price down and you just want to get a feel of the carbon wheels, then definitely the T-Series is a good choice. And I also think the main deciding factor to go for the 10 plus wheels compared to the other competitors like Elite Wheels is definitely the Star Ratchet Hub. And based on the first ride that I did with this wheel set, I think that it meets the expectation based on the price that you are paying for. And definitely there's a lot of value. But of course, this is an early assessment. We still need to see how long these wheels will last, and that will determine actually whether this wheel set is the best value for money or not in the long term. But for now, this wheel set will definitely stay on this bike. And let me know in the comments below if you had any experience with this wheel set, or if you are already riding another wheel set from AliExpress around this price. Tell me the brand and tell me your experience in the comment below. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, and if you're into this kind of content, please do give my channel a subscribe. Alright, that's it for today. I'll see you in the next one.